Are you a person that struggles with bad habits? Do you find yourself constantly caught in the same negative patterns, unable to break free? Well, you are not alone. In today's message, I want to share with you 5 powerful ways to change your bad habits and transform your life. As a motivational speaker and personal development guru, I have witnessed countless individuals who have successfully turned their lives around by implementing these simple yet effective strategies. And I believe that by listening to this message, you too can make a positive change in your life. So grab a pen and paper and get ready to take some notes, because this is going to be a life-changing video. Are you ready to say goodbye to your bad habits and hello to a better version of yourself? Let's dive in. Starting with number 5, which is change your bad habits by surrounding yourself with positive influences. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Well, I am here to tell you that this statement holds a lot of truth. The people we surround ourselves with have a significant impact on our thoughts, actions, and ultimately, our habits. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever been in a situation where you were trying to quit a bad habit, but your friends or family members were not supportive? Maybe they even encouraged you to continue with that habit, making it even harder for you to break free from it. On the other hand, have you ever been around someone who is constantly positive, motivated, and focused on personal growth? Did you notice how their energy and mindset influenced you in a positive way? The truth is, the people we surround ourselves with can either lift us up or bring us down. And if we want to change our bad habits, we need to be intentional about who we allow into our inner circle. So let me share with you 3 reasons why surrounding yourself with positive influences is crucial for changing your bad habits. First and foremost, positive influences can provide us with support and accountability. When we are trying to break a bad habit, it can be challenging to do it alone. We may face moments of weakness or doubt, and having someone who believes in us and encourages us can make all the difference. Positive influences can also hold us accountable for our actions and help us stay on track towards our goals. They can remind us of why we want to change our habits and keep us motivated to keep going. Secondly, surrounding ourselves with positive influences can help us develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that we can improve and develop ourselves through hard work and dedication. When we are around people who have a growth mindset, it can rub off on us. We start to see challenges as opportunities for growth, and we become more open to learning and trying new things. This mindset shift is crucial when it comes to changing our bad habits. Instead of seeing them as fixed and unchangeable, we start to believe that we have the power to change and improve ourselves. Lastly, positive influences can inspire us to be our best selves. Have you ever been around someone who radiates positivity and motivation? It's contagious, isn't it? When we surround ourselves with people who are constantly striving to be the best version of themselves, it can inspire us to do the same. We start to believe that we are capable of more, and we become more motivated to work on ourselves and our habits. Now, I want to be clear that surrounding ourselves with positive influences does not mean cutting out all the negative people in our lives. It's not about being exclusive or judgmental. Instead, it's about being intentional with who we spend our time with and making sure that we have a balance of positive and negative influences. We can still love and care for those who may not have the same mindset as us, but we need to be aware of how their energy and actions may be affecting us. So how can we surround ourselves with positive influences? First, we can seek out communities or groups of like-minded individuals who are also on a journey of personal growth. These can be in-person meetups, online forums, or even book clubs. Second, we can reach out to mentors or coaches who have achieved what we want to achieve and can guide us on our journey. And lastly, we can be intentional about the people we choose to spend our time with. We can choose to spend more time with those who uplift and inspire us, and limit our time with those who bring us down. Which leads us to the number 4 way to change your bad habits, by creating a plan. Now I know what you're thinking. Jim, I've tried to change my habits before, but it never works. How is creating a plan going to make a difference? Well, let me tell you, my friends, a plan is like a roadmap. It gives you direction and guidance towards your desired destination. Without a plan, you are simply wandering aimlessly, hoping to stumble upon success. But with a plan, you have a clear path to follow, and that makes all the difference. So how do we create a plan to change our bad habits? Let me break it down for you. Step 1, identify your bad habits. The first step to changing your bad habits is to identify them. Take a moment to reflect on your daily routine and write down all the habits that you know are holding you back. It could be something as simple as hitting the snooze button every morning, or something more serious like smoking or overeating. Whatever it may be honest with yourself and make a list. Step 2, understand the root cause. Once you have identified your bad habits, it's time to dig deeper and understand why you have them in the first place. Our habits are often a result of our thoughts and beliefs. So ask yourself, what belief or thought is driving this habit? Is it a coping mechanism for stress? Is it a way to seek comfort? Understanding the root cause will help you address the underlying issue and make it easier to change the habit. Step 3, set a specific goal. Now that you know what habits you want to change and why you have them, it's time to set a specific goal. Your goal should be clear, measurable, and achievable. For example, instead of saying, I want to stop procrastinating, set a specific goal like, I will complete my work before 5 p.m. every day. This will give you a clear target to work towards and keep you motivated. Step 4, create a plan of action. This is the most crucial step in changing your bad habits. You need to create a plan of action that will help you achieve your goal. Write down the steps you need to take to change your habit. For example, if your goal is to stop smoking, your plan of action could include steps like finding a support group, replacing smoking with a healthier habit, and avoiding triggers that make you want to smoke. Having a plan in place will make it easier for you to stay on track and make progress. Step 5, stay committed and accountable. Changing habits is not an easy task. It requires dedication and consistency. So, it's important to stay committed to your goal and hold yourself accountable. One way to do this is by tracking your progress. Keep a journal or use a habit tracking app to monitor your daily actions. This will help you stay motivated and see how far you've come. Step 6, be patient and kind to yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are new habits. Changing habits takes time, and it's important to be patient with yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you slip up or have a bad day. Instead, be kind to yourself, and remember that it's all part of the process. Stay focused on your goal and keep moving forward. Which leads us to number 3, which is change your bad habits by replacing the habit with a positive activity. So many of us struggle with bad habits that hold us back from reaching our full potential. Whether it's procrastination, overeating, smoking, or any other destructive habit, we all have something we want to change. But the question is, how do we do it? The first step is to identify the bad habit that you want to change. This may seem obvious, but it's crucial to be specific. Instead of saying, I want to stop procrastinating, say, I want to stop scrolling through social media for hours instead of working on my goals. This will help you have a clear focus and a specific action to replace. Now, once you have identified your bad habit, it's time to replace it with a positive activity. The key here is to find something that will bring you joy and fulfillment. It could be a new hobby, a physical activity, or even a new skill you want to learn. The important thing is that it should be something that you genuinely enjoy doing. For example, if your bad habit is overeating, You could replace it with a physical activity like jogging or cycling. Not only will this help you burn calories, but it will also release endorphins, which will make you feel good and reduce your cravings for unhealthy food. Or if you want to stop procrastinating, you could replace it with a new hobby like painting or playing an instrument. These activities will not only be enjoyable, but they will also help you develop new skills and boost your creativity. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking, but Jim, I don't have time for a new activity. I'm already so busy with work and family. My answer to that is, make time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's up to us to prioritize and manage our time effectively. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media or watching TV, use that time to engage in a positive activity that will bring you closer to your goals. Another important aspect of replacing bad habits with positive activities is to have a strong why behind it. Ask yourself, why do I want to change this habit? What will it bring to my life? Having a strong reason will give you the motivation and determination to stick to your new positive activity. Maybe you want to be healthier for your family, or you want to improve your productivity to advance in your career. Whatever your reason may be, hold on to it and let it fuel your actions. Now, I want to address something that often holds us back from changing our bad habits, fear of failure. We are afraid to try something new because we fear that we may not be good at it. But let me tell you, failure is a part of the journey to success. We all have to start somewhere, and it's through trial and error that we learn and grow. So don't let fear stop you from replacing your bad habits with positive activities. Embrace the process and trust that with time and effort, you will see the results. Lastly, I want to remind you that changing bad habits is not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process that requires consistency and dedication. Don't beat yourself up if you slip up and fall back into your old habits. Instead, acknowledge it, learn from it, and get back on track. Remember, it's not about being perfect, but about making progress every day. Which leads us to number 2, which is change your bad habits by setting a goal. Now, you may be wondering, what does setting a goal have to do with changing my bad habits? Well, my friends, let me tell you, setting a goal is like setting a destination for your life. It gives you a sense of direction and purpose. And when you have a clear goal in mind, it becomes easier to identify and eliminate the bad habits that are holding you back from achieving that goal. Let me give you an example. Imagine you have a goal to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months. Now, if you have the habit of eating unhealthy food and not exercising regularly, do you think you will be able to achieve that goal? Of course not. In order to reach your goal, you will have to change your bad habits of eating unhealthy food and not exercising, and instead develop the habit of eating nutritious food and working out regularly. You see, setting a goal not only gives you a clear direction, but it also motivates you to take action. When you have a goal in mind, you are more likely to make conscious decisions that align with that goal. And when you consistently make those decisions, they eventually become habits. Now, let me share with you the 3 steps to effectively change your bad habits by setting a goal. Step 1, identify your goal. The first step is to identify your goal. What is it that you want to achieve? Is it to improve your health, advance in your career, or enhance your relationships? Whatever it may be, make sure it is a goal that truly excites and motivates you. It should be something that you are passionate about and willing to work hard for. Step 2, break it down into smaller goals. Once you have identified your main goal, the next step is to break it down into smaller, achievable goals. This will not only make your goal seem more attainable, but it will also help you track your progress and stay motivated. Going back to our previous example, if your main goal is to lose 20 pounds in 6 months, you can break it down into smaller goals of losing 3-4 pounds per month. This will make it easier for you to focus on one step at a time and celebrate your achievements along the way. Step 3, develop new habits. The final step is to develop new habits that align with your goal. This is where the real work begins. You must be willing to let go of your bad habits and replace them with new, positive ones. And remember, it takes time and effort to develop a new habit. So be patient with yourself and stay committed to your goal. Now, I want to share with you a powerful technique that will help you develop new habits more effectively. It is called the habit loop. The habit loop consists of 3 parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is the trigger that reminds you to perform a certain behavior. The routine is the actual behavior, and the reward is the positive feeling you get after completing the behavior. Let's go back to our example of losing weight. The cue could be feeling hungry. The routine could be eating a healthy meal, and the reward could be the feeling of satisfaction and energy. By understanding and manipulating the habit loop, you can create new positive habits that will help you reach your goal. Which leads us to number 1, which is change your bad habits by identifying the habit. Now, you may be wondering, how do we identify our bad habits? The first step is to be honest with ourselves. We often tend to make excuses for our bad habits, blaming external factors or justifying them in some way. But the truth is, we are responsible for our habits, and only we can change them. So take a moment to reflect on your daily routine and identify the habits that are not serving you well. Once you have identified your bad habits, the next step is to understand why you have them. Our habits are a result of our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. For example, if you have the habit of procrastinating, it could be because you believe that you work better under pressure or that the task is too overwhelming. By understanding the root cause of your habits, you can start to challenge those beliefs and replace them with more positive ones. Now, here comes the most crucial step, which is to replace your bad habits with good ones. It's not enough to simply stop a bad habit. You need to replace it with a good one. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So, if you try to eliminate a bad habit without replacing it with a good one, you will feel a void, and your brain will try to fill it with another bad habit. For example, if you have the habit of stress eating, instead of trying to stop it altogether, replace it with a healthier coping mechanism, like going for a walk or practicing deep breathing. Changing your habits takes time and effort. It's not something that can be done overnight. It requires discipline, consistency, and patience. As the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, and the same goes for our habits. It takes small daily actions to create lasting change. So be patient with yourself and celebrate even the smallest victories. Another crucial aspect of changing your bad habits is accountability. It's easy to slip back into old habits when no one is watching. That's why it's essential to have someone or a group of people who can hold you accountable. It could be a friend, a family member, or a coach. Share your goals and progress with them, and they can provide you with the support and encouragement you need to stay on track. Lastly, I want to leave you with this thought. Our habits not only affect us, but also those around us. As a parent, your habits can influence your children's habits. As a leader, your habits can impact your team's habits. So by changing your bad habits, you are not only improving your life, but also the lives of those around you. Changing your bad habits starts with identifying the habit. Be honest with yourself. Understand the root cause, and replace your bad habits with good ones. It takes time, discipline, and accountability, but the results are worth it. Remember, you are in control of your habits, and by changing them, you can change your life. As I always say, motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. In today's message, I want to talk to you about a topic that is crucial for success in all areas of life: self-confidence. It's something that we all struggle with at some point in our lives. whether it's in our personal relationships, our careers, or even just our day-to-day interactions with others. But the good news is, you are not alone in this struggle. I've seen it time and time again where people let their lack of self-confidence hold them back from reaching their full potential. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be that way. I've spent decades studying and teaching the principles of personal development, and I can confidently say that mastering self-confidence is a skill that can be learned and cultivated. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways to do just that. So if you're tired of feeling insecure and unsure of yourself, if you're ready to take control of your life and achieve your goals with unwavering confidence, then this message is for you. By the end of this video, you will have the tools and strategies to turn your self-confidence around and become the best version of yourself. Let's get started. Starting with number 5, which is mastering self-confidence by taking care of yourself. You see, self-confidence is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is a journey that requires dedication, self-awareness, and most importantly, self-care. Let me tell you a story. When I was young, I lacked self-confidence. I was constantly comparing myself to others and doubting my abilities. But then I realized that I was neglecting the most important person in my life, myself. I was not taking care of myself physically, mentally, and emotionally. And that's when I understood that self-care is the foundation of self-confidence. So, how can we take care of ourselves to boost our self-confidence? Let me share with you the 4 pillars of self-care. The first pillar is physical self-care. Our bodies are our temples, and we must treat them with love and respect. This means nourishing our bodies with healthy food, staying active, and getting enough rest. When we take care of our physical well-being, we feel more energized, confident, and ready to take on any challenge that comes our way. The second pillar is mental self-care. Our minds are powerful, and we must learn to tame them. Negative self-talk and limiting beliefs can hold us back from reaching our full potential. That's why it is crucial to practice self-awareness and mindfulness. Be aware of your thoughts and replace any negative ones with positive affirmations. Believe in yourself, and you will see a significant improvement in your self-confidence. The third pillar is emotional self-care. Our emotions play a significant role in our overall well-being. It is essential to acknowledge and process our emotions, whether they are positive or negative. Find healthy ways to express your emotions, such as journaling, talking to a friend, or seeking professional help if needed. When we take care of our emotional well-being, we become more resilient and confident in handling any situation that comes our way. The fourth and final pillar is spiritual self-care. Now, this does not necessarily mean religious beliefs. Spiritual self-care is about finding inner peace and purpose in life. It could be through meditation, spending time in nature, or practicing gratitude. When we connect with our inner selves and find meaning in our lives, we become more confident and fulfilled individuals. So, my friends, these are the 4 pillars of self-care that will lead you to master self-confidence. But remember, self-care is not a one-time thing. It is an ongoing process that requires consistent effort and dedication. So, make it a priority to take care of yourself every day. Now, let me leave you with some practical tips to incorporate self-care into your daily routine. Firstly, schedule time for self-care. Just like any other important task, make it a point to set aside time for yourself every day. It could be as simple as taking a walk, reading a book, or indulging in a hobby. Secondly, learn to say no. We often feel guilty for saying no to others, but it is crucial to prioritize our well-being. If something does not align with your values or drains your energy, it's okay to decline. Lastly, surround yourself with positive and supportive people. The people we surround ourselves with can have a significant impact on our self-confidence. So, choose your company wisely and spend time with those who uplift and encourage you. Which leads us to number 4, which is mastering self-confidence by surrounding yourself with positive people. Now, you may be wondering, why is this so important? Well, let me tell you, the people you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your mindset, your thoughts, and ultimately, your level of self-confidence. Think about it. If you are constantly surrounded by negative people who are always complaining, doubting themselves and others, how do you think that will affect your own thoughts and beliefs? It's like a virus, slowly infecting your mind and making you doubt yourself as well. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with positive, uplifting people who believe in themselves and in you, how do you think that will impact your own mindset? It's like a breath of fresh air, filling you with positivity and self-assurance. Now, I'm not saying that you should only surround yourself with people who constantly tell you how amazing you are. That's not what true positivity is about. It's about surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care for you, who support you, and who believe in your potential. These are the people who will lift you up when you are feeling down, who will remind you of your strengths when you are doubting yourself, and who will push you to be the best version of yourself. But let's be real. Sometimes it's not easy to find these kinds of people. We live in a world where negativity seems to be the norm. So what can we do to surround ourselves with positive people? First and foremost, we need to be aware of the people we are currently surrounding ourselves with. Are they adding value to our lives? Are they bringing us down? If it's the latter, it may be time to reevaluate those relationships. It's okay to distance yourself from negative people, even if they are family or longtime friends. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely. Secondly, seek out positive people. They are out there, I promise you. Join groups or communities that align with your interests and values. Attend events or conferences where you can meet like-minded individuals. And when you do meet someone who radiates positivity, don't be afraid to strike up a conversation and get to know them. You never know. They could become a great friend and a positive influence in your life. And finally, be a positive person yourself. The law of attraction states that like attracts like. So, if you want to surround yourself with positive people, you need to be a positive person yourself. Be kind, be uplifting, and be supportive of others. Not only will this attract positive people into your life, but it will also make you feel good about yourself and boost your own self-confidence. Which leads us to number 3, which is mastering self-confidence by learning from failures. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Failures? How can failures help us build self-confidence? But let me tell you, my friends, failures are not something to be feared. In fact, they are our greatest teachers. You see, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. It is an essential ingredient in the recipe for success. Think about it. Every successful person you know has faced failure at some point in their journey. But what sets them apart is how they handle those failures. They don't let failures define them or discourage them. Instead, they use them as stepping stones to reach their goals. They learn from their mistakes, they adapt, and they keep moving forward. And that, my friends, is the key to mastering self-confidence. When we learn from our failures, we gain valuable insights about ourselves and our abilities. We learn what works and what doesn't. We learn our strengths and weaknesses. And most importantly, we learn that failure is not the end, but an opportunity to grow and improve. Now, I know it is not easy to face failures. It can be a blow to our self-confidence and leave us feeling defeated. But the truth is, failure is inevitable. It is a part of life. And the sooner we accept that, the sooner we can learn from it and use it to our advantage. So what are some practical ways to learn from failures and use them to boost our self-confidence? Let me share with you 3 steps that have helped me and countless others on our journey to success. Firstly, we must change our perception of failure. Instead of seeing it as something negative, we must view it as a learning opportunity. We must shift our mindset from "I failed" to "I learned." This simple change in perspective can make all the difference. It allows us to see failures as a necessary part of our growth and development. Secondly, we must take responsibility for our failures. It's easy to blame external factors or other people for our failures. But the truth is, we are in control of our actions and decisions. And when we take responsibility, we also take back the power to change and improve. We must be willing to own up to our mistakes and learn from them. And lastly, we must have a growth mindset. This means believing that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work and dedication. When we have a growth mindset, we see failures as opportunities to learn and improve, rather than a reflection of our worth or capabilities. My friends, learning from failures is not a one-time thing. It is an ongoing process. We will continue to face failures throughout our lives, but it is how we respond to them that matters. And as we continue to learn and grow, we will see our self-confidence soar to new heights. Which leads us to number 2, which is mastering self-confidence by setting achievable goals. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Jim, why are we talking about goals when we're supposed to be talking about confidence? Well, my friends, let me tell you this. Setting achievable goals is the foundation of building self-confidence. It is the key to unlocking your true potential and unleashing the power within you. You see, self-confidence is not something that you are born with. It is not a trait that some people have and others don't. Self-confidence is a skill that can be learned and developed. And just like any other skill, it requires practice, dedication, and a clear plan of action. And that is where setting achievable goals comes into play. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt lost, unmotivated, or unsure of yourself? Have you ever looked at successful people and wondered how they got to where they are today? Well, let me tell you a little secret. They didn't get there by chance. They got there by setting achievable goals and working towards them every single day. You see, setting achievable goals gives you a sense of direction. It helps you focus your energy and efforts towards something that is meaningful and important to you. It gives you a purpose and a reason to wake up every morning with a fire in your belly. And when you have a clear goal in mind, you will be amazed at how confident and determined you become. But here's the catch. Your goals need to be achievable. They need to be realistic and within your reach. I'm not saying that you shouldn't dream big, but your goals should be something that you can actually work towards and achieve. Setting unrealistic goals will only lead to disappointment and demotivation. So be honest with yourself and set goals that are challenging yet attainable. Now let me share with you a simple yet effective method for setting achievable goals. It's called the SMART method. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. First and foremost, your goals should be specific. This means that they should be clearly defined and well-defined. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be successful," be specific and say, "I want to start my own business and make a profit of $100,000 in the next 2 years." Next, your goals should be measurable. This means that you should be able to track your progress and see how far you've come. Going back to our previous example, you can measure your progress by tracking your sales and profits each month. Thirdly, your goals should be achievable. As I mentioned earlier, your goals should be challenging yet attainable. Don't set yourself up for failure by setting unrealistic goals. Start small and work your way up. Moving on, your goals should also be relevant. This means that they should align with your values, beliefs, and long-term vision. If your goals are not relevant to your overall purpose, you will struggle to stay motivated and committed. Lastly, your goals should be time-bound. This means that you should have a deadline for when you want to achieve your goal. Having a timeline creates a sense of urgency and helps you stay focused and on track. Now, setting achievable goals is just the first step. The real work begins when you start taking action towards those goals. And let me tell you, the journey towards achieving your goals will not be easy. There will be obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. But remember, every time you overcome a hurdle, your confidence grows stronger. Which leads us to number 1, which is mastering self-confidence by practicing self-affirmations. Now, some of you may be wondering, what are self-affirmations? Simply put, they are positive statements that we repeat to ourselves in order to reprogram our subconscious mind. You see, our minds are like a garden, and the thoughts we plant in it will determine the fruits we harvest. If we constantly plant seeds of self-doubt and negativity, we will reap a harvest of insecurity and low self-esteem. But if we plant seeds of self-love and positivity, we will reap a bountiful harvest of confidence and self-assurance. So why are self-affirmations so powerful? It's because our subconscious mind cannot differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. When we repeat positive statements to ourselves, our mind starts to believe them and our actions align with our beliefs. It's like programming a computer. The more we input positive affirmations, the more our mind will start to operate in a positive manner. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, but Jim, I don't believe in myself. How can I say these positive statements and expect them to work? And my answer to that is, you have to start somewhere. Believe it or not, self-confidence is not something that comes naturally to most people. It is a skill that can be learned and mastered through consistent practice. And that's where self-affirmations come in. Think of it this way. If you wanted to become a great athlete, you wouldn't just sit on the couch and expect to become one. You would have to put in the work, practice every day, and eventually you would see results. The same goes for self-confidence. You have to put in the work and practice self-affirmations every day. Now let's talk about how to create effective self-affirmations. The first step is to identify your limiting beliefs. These are the negative thoughts that hold you back and make you doubt yourself. Once you have identified them, you can start to create positive statements that counteract those beliefs. For example, if you believe that you are not smart enough, your affirmation could be, I am intelligent and capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. The key is to make your affirmations personal, present tense, and positive. Use words like I am or I can to make them more powerful. And don't just say them, feel them. Imagine yourself as the confident person you want to become and say your affirmations with conviction. Now I want to address a common misconception about self-affirmations. Some people think that by saying positive statements, they are denying reality. But that's not true. Self-affirmations are not about denying your current circumstances. They are about creating a new reality for yourself. They are about building a strong foundation of self-belief that will help you overcome any obstacles that come your way. I also want to emphasize the importance of consistency. Just like with any other skill, you have to practice self-affirmations every day. Make it a part of your daily routine. Say them in the morning when you wake up and before you go to bed at night. And don't just limit yourself to saying them out loud. Write them down, post them on your mirror, or carry them with you throughout the day. The more you expose yourself to these positive statements, the more they will become ingrained in your mind. Now, I want to share with you a personal story about the power of self-affirmations. When I was starting my career, I had a lot of self-doubt and fear of failure. But I started practicing self-affirmations every day. And slowly but surely, my confidence grew. I went from being a shy and insecure young man to a successful entrepreneur and motivational speaker. And it all started with the power of self-affirmations. As I always say, the greatest gift you can give yourself is a healthy self-image, and the greatest gift you can give. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to stand before you today. I want to share with you a concept that has been pivotal in my own journey and has the power to transform the way you view setbacks and challenges in your own lives. I'm talking about the profound philosophy of failing forward. Life, my friends, is a series of triumphs and tribulations, a journey marked by peaks and valleys. It's easy to revel in the glory of success, to bask in the warmth of achievement. But But what about those moments when the road gets tough, when failure knocks on your door? How do you respond when life throws you a curveball? The difference between those who merely dream of success and those who live it lies in their attitude toward failure. I want you to consider a radical notion today, that failure is not the end. It's not a signal to turn back or give up. Failure is, in fact, a stepping stone, a crucial part of the journey toward greatness. It's not falling down that defines us. It's how we rise after the fall. Think about a child learning to walk. How many times does that little one stumble and fall before taking those confident, purposeful steps? Would we label those falls as failures? Of course not. We'd call them essential steps in the learning process. So why do we view the stumbling blocks in our adult lives any differently? Failing forward is about embracing failure as a teacher, as a mentor on the path to success. It's about understanding that setbacks are not the end of the road, but rather a detour leading to a more magnificent destination. Every setback, every failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. One of the greatest tragedies in life is not the failure itself, but the refusal to learn from it. Each failure, each stumble carries with it a lesson waiting to be uncovered. The question is, are you open to receiving that lesson, or will you let pride and ego cloud your vision? Let me share a personal story with you. In the early days of my career, I faced numerous failures. I stumbled in business, encountered setbacks that seemed insurmountable. But in each of those moments, I made a conscious choice, the choice to fail forward. I refused to let those failures define me. Instead, I extracted the lessons they offered and used them as stepping stones toward my goals. Success, my friends, is not a straight line. It's a winding road full of twists and turns. It's a journey that demands resilience, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in oneself. Those who understand the art of failing forward not only weather the storms of life, but emerge from them stronger, more determined, and better equipped for the challenges that lie ahead. One of the keys to failing forward is to adopt a growth mindset. Carol Dweck, a renowned psychologist, coined this term to describe the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. When you possess a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, not as insurmountable barriers. Imagine for a moment that you're faced with a seemingly insurmountable challenge. The typical response might be to shy away, to retreat to the comfort of the familiar. But what if instead you saw that challenge as a gift, as a chance to stretch your capabilities and discover new facets of your potential? It's easy to be disheartened by failure, to let it sap your motivation and enthusiasm. But remember this, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Success is born from the ashes of failure, and those who dare to fail forward are the ones who ultimately triumph. Now, let's talk about the power of persistence. Failing forward requires a tenacious spirit, a refusal to be defeated by temporary setbacks. Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors in history, failed over 1,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, Edison remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." How many of us would have the resilience to persevere through such a number of setbacks? Edison's story is a testament to the fact that success often comes to those who are willing to endure failure with unwavering persistence. Imagine what might have been if he had given up after the first, the 100th, or even the 1,000th failure. So, my friends, as you embark on your own journey, I urge you to embrace the inevitability of failure. Recognize that it's not a sign of weakness, but a symbol of your courage to venture